This is an opinion piece, written and produced by Pierre Anthony and narrated by me, Andrew. Some say, do not eat any eggs. Some say eat up to 5 eggs daily. Some say do not eat grains. Some say eat it, and so it goes on and on. Red meat is very bad, and some say it is the best for your body. Where does it end? Are you just not sick and tired of these dietary articles and videos? The biggest problem is what people say you should eat against the affordability of these things. Eat berries, like blueberries and strawberries. That is all good and well, but what about the biggest population on Earth, the poor? They cannot afford these wonderful superfoods, and they stick to the basics, bread, and things that cause inflammation in the body. Then you must contend with cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, overweight, underweight, exercise, and all that. It seems that whatever you do, there is some or another doctor or a scientist who tells you are doing it wrong. Disclaimer, I am not a doctor, a scientist, or even a dietitian, so I do not give any advice on what to eat and what not to eat, but I am sick of all of this, what is right and what is wrong. What I do agree with is that processed foods are generally bad. Again, fair enough, processed foods have the potential to harm, but that is what many can afford. Not all countries offer good and affordable foods, and outlets put high markup values on foodstuff. It is not confirmed, but I have heard as much as 400% markup. In the conspiracy theorists' world, I can understand that they are saying that Big Pharma wants to keep us unhealthy, then they can sell more chemicals. This may be true, but it still leaves most people in the world with a big problem. The European Commission reported, the GRFC 2024 has analyzed projections available for 41 of the 59 countries/territories as of March 2024. From that analysis, the report concludes that up to 208.3 million people of the analyzed population will experience high levels of acute food insecurity in 2024. Naturally, my question is, why is there hunger in these countries? This article is not about world hunger, although it is a huge problem. This article explores the madness of diets. I'm not talking about the weight loss kind of diet, but rather what people should be eating and how affordable it is. There are many fast food outlets, and why should they be dangerous? They serve as a service, especially for very busy people who eat on the go. I do not want to mention brands, but they make tasty foods. So why are they killing people? And why not provide a service of good healthy food? Is there something sinister, or is it just the bottom line that matters? Again, in the conspiracy world, they want people to be unhealthy, or is it purely about profit margins? I guess it could be both, and whatever the reason is, fast food outlets seem the worst choice. There are thousands of videos. Eat this and not that. Eat this thing to be healthy and avoid those things. Again, all good and well, what about the poor? How can a person afford these good things to eat? Some say, to drink so much water, do not consume salt, and some recommend that you should consume salt. How on earth do you know what to do? In Old Testament times, the diet of people in the ancient Near East, particularly in ancient Israel, was based on the resources available in the region and the agricultural practices of the time. Barley and wheat were commonly used for making bread, which was a staple food. Unleavened bread, matzah, was also significant, especially during Passover. Lentils and beans were also used as a common protein source. Fruits like figs, grapes, dates, pomegranates, and olives were eaten either fresh or dried and often used in desserts or as sweeteners. It seems that onions, garlic, and leeks are frequently used to flavor dishes. Meats consisted of lamb and goat, and perhaps less common, beef and game. Fish, milk from cows, goats, and sheep, honey, and nuts were also part of their diet. Perhaps in modern times, it is preservatives that make such big differences. It is the stuff they put in the foods to make it last longer. Perhaps it is the modification of some foods that makes a difference, but the problem, it seems, is that there are people who willingly poison others to make more money. So, is it the case of reading every label to see what is inside a packet? Then again, most people do not understand the chemical ingredients of foodstuff, so how do you know what is good and what is bad? The easiest thing is to read the sell-by date to see if it is good to eat. The other thing is the way foodstuff is handled. There are so many horror stories of how restaurants and food stores handle the goods. It is easy to realize that there are probably sick people handling your food before you buy and consume it. It is said that you should always wash stuff before you cook it, and naturally, the question is water enough, or should a person use some or other disinfectant? In the cooking process, I imagine that temperature helps to destroy some bacteria, but who wants to boil an apple to eat? There is an old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, or should rather be, a washed, sanitized apple a day keeps the doctor away, or even an unmodified apple a day. The whole debacle of eating this and not that could make life so miserable, make some depressed, and some change to eat just greens, or just meat, or the alternative, eat nothing and die. Or are we so conditioned to eat bad things that presumably taste good, and that the healthy stuff tastes really bad? Are we fooled by those good eats that taste bad, just because we are not used to it or know better? Then there is the pork and no pork articles, and then there is this big drive to get rid of cows because they produce too much CO2. The complication in all of this is mind-bending. One day you decide to eat healthier, and after an hour of research no less than when you started, people end up more confused or go on to a diet plan that later shows it was the wrong thing. I have a theory, definitely not a popular theory by a long shot, but I believe one should listen to your body, and the reason I say this is because some people eat certain stuff and they do not get sick, and others get sick straight away. That is one part of my theory, but the biggest part of my theory is to eat a lot less. I think we eat too much, and yes, breakfast seems the most important meal of the day, but it does not have to be huge. Most fast food outlets offer a wide range of goodies, but you do not have to get everything on the menu for a single meal. Do I have evidence of this? No, not at all. It is just a feeling that people develop problems because they eat too much. I'm also not saying that you can eat anything and that anything is good to eat, but what I am saying is, eat far less. I base my theory by using the analogy of alcohol. If you drink alcohol and you get drunk, then surely you will realize you drank too much. Getting drunk brings many problems, with the law, at work, and at home, so drinking too much is wrong. It is probably best not to drink at all. Some could have a beer, and some many more before they feel it altering their behavior. So why take the risk of saying something stupid while under the influence of alcohol and regret it later? So, if you eat and feel bloated or uncomfortable, realize that your body is saying you had too much. Alright, there may be underlying reasons for this, but if you are picking up weight, is it not because you're eating too much? Not sure, but we should listen to our bodies. When it comes to affordability, people are generally stuck with what is available according to their pocket, but even so, I have the feeling that at least, it should be consumed in moderation.